Air travel. It's an amazing example of human courage and incredible engineering. We fly through the clouds in these metal birds and we think of it as the safest way to travel. But when technology or people make a mistake, then death can fall from the sky. Every plane crash isn't just an accident, it's the end of hundreds of unfinished stories. Today, we're going to learn about the 10 most terrible plane crashes in the world. These are the accidents that change the rules of flying forever. This isn't just a list of crashes, but a tribute to all the souls who never reached the end of their journey. And at the top of this list is the recent Air India flight AI-171 accident in Ahmedabad, a tragedy that shook the entire country. Air travel is considered the safest way to go, but when trouble falls from the sky, history itself can change. Let's find out the reasons behind these accidents, for which hundreds of people paid with their lives. November 12, 2001, New York. The wounds of 9/11 were still fresh. American Airlines Flight 587 took off for the Dominican Republic. Right after takeoff, the plane got caught in the wake turbulence behind a Japan Airlines Boeing 747. The first officer, in a panic, repeatedly pressed the rudder pedals, which caused the plane's tail to break off. The plane, now out of control, crashed into a neighborhood in Queens. Everything turned into a fireball in an instant. All 260 people on board and 5 people on the ground died. Initial investigations suspected a terrorist attack, but the real cause was a lack of pilot training and design flaws. After this accident, pilots started getting better training on wake turbulence and how to use the rudder. This accident reminds us that even a small mistake in the sky can lead to a huge disaster. April 11, 2018, Bufarik Air Base in Algeria. 257 soldiers were on board an Ilyushin Il-76 along with their families. Just moments after takeoff, one of the plane's wings caught fire. The pilot tried to turn back, but the fire consumed everything. The plane crashed into a field and exploded. All 257 people died. It was the biggest military disaster for the country. The government declared a national mourning period, but the real cause is still not fully clear today. It's believed there was a technical problem, maybe a fire in the engine. This accident reminds us, soldiers flying in the sky are also at risk. On July 17, 2014, MH17 was flying from Amsterdam to Kuala Lumpur. It was flying at 33,000 feet. There were 298 people on the plane. There was a war going on in eastern Ukraine. But the route was open for commercial flights. Suddenly, a Buk missile fired from the ground hit the plane near the cockpit. The plane broke apart in the air. Debris and bodies were scattered in the fields. 298 innocent lives were lost to the war. The investigation showed that the attack was with a Russian-made missile. Russia denied it, but the accident caused an international crisis. The story of MH17 tells us that no one is safe in a war-zone sky. June 1, 2009, Air France 457 was flying from Rio to Paris. There were 228 people on board. The plane flew into an icy storm over the Atlantic, which caused the pitot tubes to freeze up. The autopilot turned off and the pilots got bad information, making them think the plane was going too slow. In their confusion, the pilot pulled the nose up, which made the plane stall. The plane fell for 4 minutes and crashed into the ocean. No one survived. It took 2 years to find the black box, and that's when the real reason came out. After the accident, the design of pitot tubes was changed and pilot training got better. This accident is a sad story of technology and human error. June 23, 1985, Air India 182 Emperor Kanishka was flying from Montreal to Delhi. There were 329 people on board. Near Ireland, a bomb in the plane's cargo exploded. It was a terrorist attack by 6 separatists. The back part of the plane broke off and it fell into the Atlantic. No one survived. 86 children were also victims of this attack. This was the deadliest airline terrorist attack before 9/11. The investigation showed a huge security failure. The suitcase with the bomb was loaded without a passenger. After the accident, airport security rules were made stricter, especially for baggage screening. The tragedy of Emperor Kanishka taught the world the true meaning of air safety. On March 3, 1974, Turkish Airlines Flight 981 was flying from Paris to London. There were 346 people on board. At 11,000 feet, the cargo door suddenly opened. Because of a flaw in its design, the cabin exploded, the floor broke, and the control cables were cut. The pilots had no control left, and the plane crashed into a forest. All 346 people died. It was the biggest accident of its time. The investigation showed there was a flaw in the door's design from the start, which wasn't fixed properly. After the accident, the design of the DC-10 aircraft doors was completely changed. This accident shows how a small mistake can lead to a huge disaster. On August 12, 1985, Japan Airlines Flight 123 was flying from Tokyo to Osaka. There were 524 people on board. Just 12 minutes into the flight, the rear pressure bulkhead burst because of a bad repair done 7 years earlier. The explosion destroyed the tail and all the hydraulic lines. The pilots had no control. The captain and crew fought for 32 minutes to control the plane using only engine power. Finally, the plane crashed into the mountains. 520 people died and 4 people miraculously survived. This is the deadliest single aircraft accident in history. The accident showed how important aircraft repair and maintenance are. This 32-minute battle still inspires pilots today. November 12, 1996, near Delhi Airport. A Saudi Boeing 747 and a Kazakh IL-76, both on the same path. Delhi ATC didn't have secondary radar, so they got altitude info from the pilots. The Kazakh pilot didn't quite understand English and went below the assigned altitude. Both planes ended up over Charkhi Dadri at the same height, and they crashed. All 349 people on both planes died. It was the deadliest mid-air collision in history. After the accident, India made modern ATC systems and TKS mandatory. English was made a must for communication between pilots and ATC. This accident was a huge lesson for air safety. March 27, 1977, Tenerife Airport, Canary Islands. 2 Boeing 747s, KLM and Pan Am, on the same runway in the fog. The KLM captain started the plane without takeoff clearance. The Pan Am plane was still on the runway, but the message didn't get through clearly due to radio interference. The KLM plane crashed into the Pan Am plane. Both turned into fireballs. 583 people died, the deadliest accident in aviation history. After the accident, standard radio terms and crew resource management were put in place. Teamwork and communication became very important. This accident is a terrible example of human error and stress. June 12, 2025, Ahmedabad Airport. Air India AI-171, a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, ready to take off for London. Right after takeoff, the plane couldn't gain height. The pilots lost control. The plane crashed into a medical college hostel near the airport. A huge explosion and fire. 241 people on the plane and over 40 on the ground died. A total of over 280 lives lost. 1 passenger miraculously survived. Everything else was gone. This was the first fatal accident for a Dreamliner, raising serious questions about safety. Early investigations hinted at problems with the landing gear, engine thrust or flaps. The accident shook India and the world. It will take years for the wounds to heal. These accidents aren't just numbers. Behind every number are unfinished lives and broken families. From Tenerife to Ahmedabad, every accident changed aviation. But every tragedy taught us something. Doors became stronger, communication got better, and new safety rules were made. If air travel is safe today, it's because of the sacrifices from these accidents. Whenever you look up at the sky, remember those unsung heroes who paid the price of flying with their lives. Their memory always inspires us to be better and safer. If you found this video helpful, please like, share and subscribe. And on your next flight, remember those heroes.